I went to a party many years back when I was in high school over the summer. It was hosted by a friend of a friend. He was the type of kid that skipped school a lot and had actually flunked out of our grade the year prior. We received the invitation over a Skype message. Man, saying that out loud really shows my age. Well, anyway, we load up in my buddy's Pontiac and swing by his older brother's apartment to score some beers to bring along. His brother always left the key under his mat, and I stood watch while my friend went inside. It took a few minutes, but he produced the beers that he'd bagged up in some spare plastic grocery store bags. We made our way to the party. We pulled up, and his parents had an awesome house. Big 2-story building with lots of bushes and flowers. There was even a small fountain in the front. Every light was on in the house, except the top right bedroom, which I didn't really give a second thought to. We got parked behind a couple other cars that made it to the house before we did, and no faster than when we closed our car doors, we were welcomed by the kid hosting. He came out, open arms, was very happy that we made it. He told us to help ourselves to the food in the kitchen. He grabbed the bags of beers my friend nabbed and led us inside. Be sure not to wreck the place, and no one is allowed in his parents' room for any reason, he said. Hell, if my parents left for the weekend, I'd say the same thing. It was going to be a great night as far as we could tell. More people quickly arrived, and we began knocking off beers and smoking some weed a girl at the party brought. We were all young, and we never made great decisions, that's for sure. As the night grew, you couldn't help but to smell that other housely smell. You know, you go over to somebody else's house and the air just smells a bit different. To be fair, at the time I just chalked it up to being all the sweaty dancing inebriated teenagers. Like any good high school party, it all came to an end pretty fast. The neighbor down the street had ridden by and caught wind of our little extracurricular activities and called the police to shut things down. They swung in with a few patrol cars and blocked off the driveway before rushing the door and breaking everyone up. The kid that hosted took off at the first sight of the blue lights, running through the back door. At this point, all the weed was gone, and the beers had been drank. I felt as though he was overreacting by running out and ditching his own home. The police would no doubt find whose house it was, and I don't know, he'd been in some trouble before, so I figured his fight or flight kicked in. The police called over the neighbor, who initially reported the party and asked where the parents were. The neighbor pointed to the garage where an SUV was parked and muttered something along the lines of, "Well, that's their car." The policeman took out his phone and asked for the phone number, and maybe they'd taken a trip or had reason to leave their car there. You hear the phone dial and start calling, and a minute or so passes with no pickup. But against the window that had the light off, you could see the beams of a phone lighting up. My friend looked up and noticed. Then we all followed suit. A different police officer put together what my friend and, everyone was looking at and signaled to the other officers. A female cop with her partner went inside and up the stairs to investigate. I remember this as if it happened only moments ago. The most violent and dramatized scream that you could ever imagine hurled out of the house. Everyone sitting on the curb waiting jumped. The light was now on. The female officer returned downstairs quickly and announced loudly to the other officers, "We have a body." Panic ensued. Everyone started looking around for who was missing out of the group, but everyone except the host was accounted for. EMS and a dark black van with the chief of police arrived. We later found out that the host had slaughtered his parents with a machete. His father was found in many, many pieces, and his mom was decapitated, among many other vile things that not even the news would provide details on. The kid was eventually apprehended and will no doubt spend his life in prison.